In this video, I will teach you how to graph a logarithm function. The key to graphing a logarithm function is you start with the y values instead of the x values. So we're going to start with these y values, and we'll always use the same ones. -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Now, I'm going to temporarily ignore the +4 part. I'll do any of that transformation later, shifting around. We'll do that at the end. So basically, at this moment, I've got y equals log base 2 of x. Now, somehow I need to use this to get the x values that go with these y values. Well, this equation is not set up for that. This is set up to give me y values. If I want x values, I need to rewrite this in exponent form. So if I start with the base, to kind of bring that base down, and then, you know, the x and the y are basically going to switch sides. So the x is going to come over here, and the y will become the exponent here. So this is the same equation written in a different form. X equals 2 to the y power. I can use this equation to find all of my x values. So for example, I'm going to do 2 to the -2 power, 2 to the -1 power, 2 to the 0 power, 2 to the 1 power, and 2 squared. I recommend going from the bottom up because the ones at the bottom will feel like common sense to you. So 2 squared is 4, boom. 2 to the 1 power, of course, is 2. Anything to the 0 power is 1. And when we get to these top two, they'll just be the reciprocals of the bottom two. So if this is 2, then this one will automatically be 1/2. We don't even have to think about it. If this one is 4, then this one will automatically be 1/4. So that's it. Other than the +4 that I'm going to do afterwards, I can just graph these. So 1/4 comma -2 is going to be right about here. 1/2 comma -1 is going to be right about here. 1 comma 0 is here. 2 comma 1 and 4 comma 2. All right, so I've got these 5 points. Now, this +4 is going to be a shift to the left 4. Anything in there is going to be left, right, always the opposite of what it looks like. If there was a +4 out here, that would be up 4. But there isn't. So we'll just we'll take these 5 points and move each of them left 4. But first, there is going to be a vertical asymptote that we're dealing with. Normally, the vertical asymptote would be the y-axis. But because we're moving left 4, that means the vertical asymptote will be over here at -4. You should draw that, though. Draw your vertical asymptote as a dotted line. Don't skip that. Do not skip that step. All right, so if I move these 5 points left 4, then it's going to look like this. Okay, so these 5 pink points show me where the actual answer is going to be. So of course on the lower side here, it's going to wind up looking like it's tracing the asymptote because it's so close to the asymptote. In your imagination, just keep in mind that you never actually reach the asymptote. It just gets closer and closer. You never really touch the asymptote, but in practice, when you draw it, you're going to wind up tracing the asymptote because it gets too close to tell the difference. And that's it. That's how you graph a logarithm.